Paul Gaither. This is NCAA 2003, and it is 11:54 a.m., almost noon, on this Sunday, the 1st of September 2024. And my goal constantly is to try to have either 30 to 45 minute videos. I don't want to waste too much of your time, just a little bit of your time, and go through some practice and have some goals. Now, I've done pre-practice off camera to hopefully increase the quality of the video here. In previous videos that I've uploaded so far in my life on my channel, we've talked about defense. We talked about the goals of my offense. So the most basic review is we have a 78 overall fullback, but we have an 81 and 81 overall wide receivers. Boise State will be known, especially in even future games, to have quality wide receiver depth. So as a result, we want to try to have 3 wide receiver sets in their entire playbook. They have a 2 wide receiver set, a 3, a 2, a 3, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, and then goal line. So we do not have, in the base playbook for Boise State, 4 wide receiver sets, but we do have 3 wide receiver sets. So we're going to look at ace slot. We're going to flip it because in this video game, they often line up with the nickel corner to the same side. And, well, let's just show you real quick. If I go hitch and go and click random play, and see they're in man coverage because the guy is lined up over Fanucci. So I'm just going to just flip the ball in the air and go to another play. And now you can see the corner is clearly, obviously lined up in zone, not lined up over Fanucci. So again, I'm just going to tap the A button, don't care, interception, whatever. Please don't take it all the way to the house and waste so much time. There we go. So as you can see, the corner is lined up here, so it's an obvious zone. They're all dropping in the zone. So that is why we're going to click flip, and we're going to practice our plays flipped, so that at least it's not completely obvious pre-snap if they're in man or zone, if that makes any sense. In our previous video, we very quickly looked at the hitch and goes, and I talked about the problem with the fact that we cannot reliably throw the hitches just as hitches as they are. Even as he runs this little route here, the quarterback is not trying to put the ball here for him to go catch it. It's in weird positions like this. So we did that in the other video. I'm not going to waste more time on it, just giving you a quick little review of what we looked at with hitch and goes. So I don't really like the play. To me, throw it in the trash. We looked at wide receiver deep outs. So we can see these are generally 7-step drop plays. You're trying to take advantage of palms coverage or cover 3 or something where even man coverage, cover 1, whatever, you're trying to basically take advantage of the fact that they have to respect the deep ball. And then you're throwing, like, it's not a dig is inside, but this out-breaking route towards the sidelines underneath the body leverage of the corner. So let's drop back and then step up. And actually my timing wasn't the best there. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, because I'm so used to 5-step dropping, I didn't 7-step drop, so I threw it too early. But still the same idea that we're trying to get the corner to play back and to turn his hips and to throw it. So let's do it one more time, but better. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And that sort of thing, right? Did we get the steps? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And back foot throwing it. You notice here the same thing is I've already pressed throw. He's going through the entire throwing motion. And the ball is basically out of his hands right here. Not just out of his hands, but he's in the throwing motion before the wide receiver even starts his cut, which some people say, like, oh, there's no route-based passing in EA games, and, oh, they just throw straight line running, you have to wait for him to break. Like, no, not true. Like, physically not true. There's so many myths and lies about these EA games. They're not perfect games. I'm not going to sit here and defend them. They don't need me to defend them, but to say that you can't throw before the break or before the cut or route-based passing is just simply untrue. Demonstrably untrue. But yeah, you're undercutting the corner here. We run him up. He's got his hips facing towards us. We turn him around. He's got to respect us running deep, and then we're throwing it out and in such a way that we can get the completion. Now he's able to actually do something athletically and get around us, and not an interception. Maybe better corners can do it. Let's go to practice strategy. Let's go to Ohio State. Let's go to corners. And they have talented corners, but they do not have high awareness. Like 70 is like their highest awareness. And again, not to get into a long-winded thing that I got into before, but I looked at the ratings in NCAA 04, 05, 06, looking at the guys, the awareness ratings that they would get in future games. And I gave them awareness ratings that are appropriate and actually lower than, in general, the awareness ratings that they'll have in future games so that they can progress into those players that they will progress into in 04, 05/06, respectively. For example, DJ Acri at 72, he'll end up becoming like an 80s or low 90s or whatever awareness, so he has an opportunity there. I have not messed with Ohio State and everyone. I want to mess with the other major conferences and everything. Maybe these awareness ratings are too low, but it is what it is. This is the current matchup that we have where our wide receivers are more aware than the corners here, and obviously Ohio State would win a national championship, and I should really work on them as my first non-WAC team that I go into great detail because they would be a national champion, so I should look at the 04 rosters for Ohio State and see which players in what ways I should improve them, but again, the core idea here is the purpose of that route. So we just made it to about 6 minutes. Hope that recap and those ideas are interesting to you. And as I said, I did some pre-practice, and I would like to go through these plays with you. The first of which we're going to look at is slants here on the left-hand side. And let's call it, let's go random play. Let's look at the play art here. It's not really slants. I mean, I guess you could call it slants with Fanucci and Wingfield, but those are post routes. Those are too deep to be considered slants. But Sweeney here, our ex-receiver, is a true slant, and I really like what Forsey is doing on this route. So we're going to just go doo-doo-doo. We're just going to throw this slant here, and what's really beautiful about that is we're just like 1, 2, 3, hit our back foot, and we're ready to fire this thing in here against the zone. And he's going to catch it at 8 yards, 7.5 yards, right? There is 7, there's 7.5 yards. He's catching a little early, but just simply the fact of catching the football, getting the foot down, he's like getting a first down. So how nice is it to just line up on 1st and 10 and just go doot, throw the ball into a little spot, catch it, and then move the chains in one play. Has got to be satisfying in its own way. And depending on the coverage and how you're reading it, as we can see, the 2 high safeties, but they're kind of rolling into some kind of interesting look here. This looks like kind of a cover 6 of sorts. Like, I don't know exactly how to identify this one as much. Maybe this is the cloud, whatever, because we're flats here, and we're going not... like, we're dropping back here, but we're not, like, cover 2 flats. Here we're covering the middle of the field, and here we're dropping deep. So I think this is one of those cloud coverages that I mentioned before. So this corner is bailing like this. So if I had to pick it, let's flip it, and let's go back to slants. Let's go here. It's not man lock, it's not cover 2, it's not inside blitz, it's not that. It's not 3 strong because they rolled kind of like that, but at a reverse kind of a way, and it wasn't flipped like that. There's cheat strong, double slot spy, no. It wasn't a corner blitz. It was probably this one, under 3 weak. That was a very good chance that it was that one. It could have been under 3 strong. No, it wasn't under 3 strong. Let's look again. What did the corner do? He didn't really play man here at all. So it couldn't have been that play. We're going to again flip, slants here. So under 3 weak couldn't have been because that's man coverage by the nickel corner. Under 3 strong is not it. 2 man, 2 under, 2 run robber, pinch zone, quarters no, under 3 robber, under smoke, combo? Ah, it was probably combo here. That makes sense. It was probably the combo call because that has the corner in the flats. It has the other corner going deep. It has the nickel corner going there. It has the safety. Looks like he's in man coverage trying to protect someone. The linebackers, what did they do? They blitzed though. So it couldn't have been combo either. What is the call that they had? Because combo would make sense. It was a pinch. Could have been pinch zone, right? Because they blitzed. It wasn't 3 robber. It could have been pinch because they both blitzed. Maybe it was pinch zone. That would make sense for a lot of it. That would make sense of the safety coming down where he was, but the nickel corner, like, why did he run that coverage? I'm not sure. It wasn't under smoke or anything like that. It must have been pinch zone. They must have run pinch zone there. Right. But the idea, especially with them blitzing and pulling back, there's just a little pocket of space to throw the ball to. So the other thing about this play, do we actually have like extra protection? We've got our 5 offensive linemen plus a tight end. So we're just trying to kind of max protect here. But this route by Forsey, as he exits the backfield, but instead of running to the flats, it has the threat of running to the flats. I've talked about that in other videos, where having plays that work together. Let's actually take a look at that. Let's flip, and let's see. No, slot seam. Slot seam has the R button, the fullback, running to the flats. Do we have anything else that threatens that part of the field? No, we don't. But here, slants and slot seam can be similar plays, especially if you are trying to protect against the running back coming out of the backfield, but running out here to the flats. But instead, if you're trying to run out and capture that, like to protect it, he actually turns upfield, and while he does not angle route like a Texas route, like he doesn't come up and then angle here, he goes straight into a go route. It's kind of like a micro seam, because he is running down the seam now, but he's not deep downfield down the seam, but it's still a threat. So that's something that I like about slants. It's depending on what we have for the coverage, is we have the threat to Forsey. We're not going to force it to him, but we drop back. And we can get something to Swelly, and he just drops it. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of hold on a moment. He gets his hands on it. Like, we're just winning on this slant against the zone. Right? You can tell that the corner is not playing man. We're running an angle. Maybe we have some kind of man zone coverage, whatever. But he's protecting against Forsey. He's bailing out. And the middle of the field is split wide. And we're just throwing to this spot. And the ball gets knocked out by the corner hitting him. And the catch rating. And I'm fine with that. So it's like a quick read. You're just kind of dropping back your 3 steps. And this means I'm not going to throw it hard to the middle. I have to wait just a beat. I have to get the pass protection. But then as he definitely dedicates that he's going to cover Forsey, we should try to win this matchup. There's no guarantee that we're going to win the matchup, but that's something that we're looking at. The thing that I don't like about this play is how these routes are run. Like, there's just not much of an option here. The closest thing is, like, depending on the coverage, sometimes he's just left uncovered over the middle. But I believe the primary reads that we're looking for are here and to Forsey, like 1 to 2, as we're dropping back. Like, boom, we're reading here, and then check down to Forsey. We might be able to throw it here. And as we also talk about having the play, like, I'm flipping it, but just calling regular slants. Right, like here, are they really covering Fanucci? Maybe we can see. Maybe we challenge it. That's where you would check down to Forsey. I was trying to force to see if there was like something that we could throw here. This linebacker's taking it away. Even though we're not like lining up man coverage with our slot receiver with Fanucci, it's being taken away. And this is where I said I would regularly take my 1, 2, 3 steps, see if I want to fire it in here, and otherwise we're going to check it down and like throw it to Forsey here. Like, we probably would be throwing at this point. So he's like running forward, catching it on the run. Ball in his hands, moving down the field, shoulders square against the corner, potentially running the corner over as a physical running back, just like taking the ball, right? 1, 2, 3. We're just going to throw to Wingfield here and either pick up 8, 9, 10 yards, depending on where the ref wants to spot the ball. We have inside leverage. He's going to catch it here, and his knee is going to be down with the ball, like maybe the first down. Wherever the video game wants to call his shin and everything. And the football, that looks like a first down to me. First down on first down, right? The corner is blitzing, and we could check down to Forsey, like he's wide open and uncontested. But we also want to be able to actually throw to our wide receivers, if that makes sense. we're like, and we can just throw it to Forzy. See, that's why I don't like necessarily throwing to Forzy right away. If you throw it too early, he's not even ready for it, and it just bounces off and it just bricks. Up come the safeties, 1, 2, 3. Here is where it's man coverage versus the zone, and they take it away. Right? He actually gets in front of it. McNut. Oh, there's just sounds like so many McDonald's and other kind of memes that you could make with that. And it is what it is. So, I have just been given a gift, a Machu Picchu drink. And look what a Machu Picchu is. I've shown it in other videos before. But yeah, now see we've got the man coverage most likely, so we still might be able to have a check down to Forzy to see how he can catch him. That's not the ideal situation. Again, I'm forcing it here for practice mode. But you can see the idea. He's got to be ready for it. If you throw it too early, it's just going to bounce off of him. It's kind of ridiculous that he catches it and the defense, like, he hangs on after getting hit and everything. Maybe we want to go to settings. We want to go to human. Catching is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's have it a 6 catching. We can crank it up if they're just dropping everything. Let's reset it so that it can work. Let's go regular slants. And then we drop back. And there's the idea. See, I don't mind there. Him still, he hung on to the ball. His body is like leveraged to take that hit. We still got a 5-yarder, but this is part of what I mean by, like, we just need to be willing to throw the wrong wide receiver. We get to like 3, 4, 5 steps, whatever. We have inside leverage. We need to be able to get the ball to Wingfield and get the catch and the possibility of like breaking down the field with the ball in his hands. Like our halfback is the check down. 1, 2, 3. We've got to be willing to like get the ball down the field, right? 1, 2, 3. He gets kind of held up. That's a nice interception, but this is like, I'm not going to sit there and beg for the flag from the refs, but we're at 5 yards and he's like getting completely interfered with. You just say that's good defense. Like, I'm never going to ask for the flag. I'm never going to beg for the flag, but that might get called from time to time. But also just be aware that he can get hung up like that, because the way the zone looks, the way the pressure is coming, it looks like he should be able to run behind him and get here, but if he gets interfered with, legally interfered with at the 5-yard mark, it messes up the timing of the route and everything. So it asks us the next question, what do we do? Because if we throw here, like, the defender's kind of in position to hit Forzy pretty hard, right? We've got a blitzing corner. We've got nowhere to run. And really, it's like you've got to be able to make the read, maybe open your hips and throw out here to the left-hand side. You've got to make that read and that decision very quickly. Okay, just kind of forcing it to Forzy here. Like, again, the primary shot is we drop back, we see what they're doing, and then we throw it. He's not covering the wide receiver at all. And we just get it to him. But it's a nice play. So let's, again, flip the play. Talk about slants. I want to talk about slot seam. Slot seam should be pretty easy to discuss as well. Hopefully a little bit faster to discuss. One of the things here is... oh, I didn't flip the play. Okay, let's go with, again, slot seam. Random play. Is we have a quick slant to our X receiver. We can just go doop doop. And he's got to be able to catch that thing. But he just has inside leverage and he's putting his hands in the wrong spot. I hit the wrong button. I wanted to throw here. But that's the thing. You've got like the double slants. So as you're dropping back, you kind of have like eyes down the middle of the field. See how the defense pulls back. If they're pulling back like this, we don't necessarily need to throw here and get him clocked by the linebacker. But rather, as they're pulling back, we can throw here. So we're kind of like, we have that double read of like X and A. X and A needs to be like in my mind. Here he's getting pressed. And it reminds me of Michael Irvin saying like, I have somewhere to be. I've got a spot to get in there and I have so much time to get there. And it's like, yeah. He gets off the press and he went up there and he made a play. He was a playmaker right there. But but you understand how, like, the routes are drawn up like this, but it doesn't mean it has to be a long developing play. I mentioned also earlier about Forzy attacking the slants, not the slants, the flats. So that's one thing he can do. So you have like this play and you're like, and you're just like, okay, Bonucci, catch it just in a little pocket, be ignored. You've got a man over you, and you're just gonna catch this in a little spot, and they're gonna mark you down at 8 yards, not quite the full 9. They might mark you down here, like 7.5 yards, and it's fine. 5-6 yards. You just drop back, you make the read. You could have thrown to X. But the idea is you can just make a quick little read, a quick little throw. Despite the fact that the routes have more options, you can make that toss. And it relates back to what I talked about, the stop and goes, the hitch and goes, is with this route, slot seam, you're actually allowed to throw those routes. And if they're not open quickly, depending on the coverage that you see, you can allow the wide receivers to continue running their routes. You've got the deep comeback with Wingfield. So as you're dropping back and you're looking and you're buying time, you can see with anticipation we threw it. We moved, we reset our feet. We're throwing this ball. This ball is coming out of our hands. It's already out of our hands. And the receiver hasn't even started to finish the comeback. And while there's like the off-targetness of the football, like it's not hitting the right target, the fact is you're throwing this comeback long before he makes the break. Again, proving my point that you can throw route-based passes in this game. So even the timing, like he's like not interfered with so much, but that little bump right there. And again, that's not the right throw you want to make live in the game, but it's there. As like the plays develop, depending on the coverage that you see, if you see palms or it's cover one or whatever, and they're stretching it down the field, and then he can come back and go get it, right? Just trying to force that route. That makes sense right there. We were able to force it there. We're able to drop back. And I shouldn't even be escaping from phantom pressure. I should be able to be confident in the pocket. But you get the idea of like we're really pushing the corner down the field. And then we're coming back for it, using our body leverage, catching the ball, and getting down the field. So it can be really quick shots. It can be later developing plays. And just drop in and say, like, okay, well, you got to catch that, Fanucci. You slide, and then you got to bring it in. You got to bring that in, buddy. You know, help us move the chains. But it can be a quick pass. It can be a later developing pass. Get down the field. There's like different times that you can throw it, and then he can look for it, and that you can just get it off and get yards. So it's a play that I really enjoy. Let's flip it up. Let's go here. That was slot seam. That's slants. There's a lot going on there. Halfback streak, in a lot of ways, is a combination of what we've already seen, kind of all mixed together. So we've got the quick out as opposed to the deep out, or it's just a regular out. There's like the quick out at 5 yards. There's the deep out like at 10 to 15, whatever. Here it's like 8 or 9. So we just got like a regular out. Let's just drop back to Swelly. And we just do and use the leverage, and we get the catch. Right. We get to 5. We open our hips. We just throw it out here, and he goes up and gets it. Might want to mess with the computer defense. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Let's go to 18. Found 20 out of 20 was like a little too strong, and with their lower awareness that they have, remember we just have more awareness than the corners do, which has to do with also how well they play the football. You know, they have a really low awareness. I probably need to adjust. Not probably, I'm sure I need to adjust. Ohio State. But there's your 66 awareness versus like an 80-something awareness, right? Like, I think that's what's really going on here. So, that's what you're going to get. But that's just like the quick route, like a route that we all know, right? The other thing is, instead of having Fanucci be the quick slanting route, as we're dropping back and reading it, now we have Wingfield instead. So as we drop back, like we can just Wingfield it, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then he's breaking open over the middle. And we want a better pass and not jumping for it, but just running to catch it in stride. So that's also part of the point. As you're dropping back, you're kind of seeing like, it's kind of like reading Wingfield this spot. And then, depending on the coverage that you see, you can just finish the drop back and throw the out. Like, we also obviously have here, with the blitzing linebacker, we've got Forsey, who the play is, like, named after, if I believe. Like, there's so many choices to throw to here. This time he catches it and gets crunched. We drop back. He drops it. We might need to increase catching moves by 1 point. He was delayed, but then the spot was open. So we just need a little bit of pass protection here. We get blown up. He wins his like battle, like engage, and then spins off. Like they hit. He tries, like he wins here. Like the pass rushers are like winning all over the place. But we're just trying to make a quick strike, and we do. But part of the point that I'm trying to make here is that we have that little slant action, but now we've got double action with Fanucci. So let's see, I forget, can we actually just throw to Fanucci quick? I think we can. But we need to not throw off our back foot, which is my problem as a user because I'm physically moving while I press throw. I can like 1, 2. I say 1, 2, so I can let go and then press the throw button, and the ball needs to be put in the right spot. 1, 2. And yeah, it's in traffic a little bit, but the idea is we can make this throw. Like, unlike the hitches or whatever, the game allows us to make this throw. Right? It allows us to make the quick throw. So the thing is, with Fanucci's route, we can hit the single move, the quick slant, against the coverage. If there's like a little pocket like that, that's what we really want. Is if you're just going to like 1, 2 it, you drop back and you see something, you're allowed to just go whoop, throw it into the spot, and complete it. But as it develops, we can still go to B, and we can also get the double move to L. We're like, whoop, like here, just catch it. Just catch it in the pocket. Catch it in the pocket, right there. Just catch it right now. Get the first down. Just catch it in that little pocket, get hit, whatever, pick up 5, 6 yards. Like that can be just a deadly little throw. Like with the body leverage and everything, like the ball is in front of the defender, whatever, like you're not allowed to do anything. Like it's really good. But we're like pump fake. And then you get it out like that. Pump fake it, double move, we go here. And I would like to have set my feet better. But as the pass rushers, we've got like a double team here. And there's one-on-one with the tackle. And he's getting off the block, but we're just resetting. And we're like leading also the ball outside, which is why I was throwing off my back foot. Because I was pressing lead to the right before I threw the ball when it's supposed to be after. I need to set my feet and then throw. But Fanucci, even with 6 wide receiver catch, goes out and one-hands this. That's pretty nice. So in some ways I was like, hey, we need to increase catching potentially. Fanucci I think only has like 70-something catch, right? Wide receiver 84. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. So let's go human catching 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. We might increase it up to 5. Flip the play. Halfback streak. Random. I kind of like, with my sliders, I like pushing it to a limit. Because we're about to get to the half an hour mark. I like pushing it to the limit where it's realistic. If they're just dropping everything, then I need to increase it. But I still like them like making plays because they're athletes and playing Division I football, so they should still be able to make plays. That's what I mean, right? He's still able to catch that even with 4 wide receiver catch. He's able to hang on to it even if they're getting hit. Right? Like, that's pretty good. Like, that's 84 catch for number 84, right? So the point is, like, these plays, if you practice them, like, you've got a lot of choices with this one play. the quick shot to Fanucci is like a quick hot read. You've got B. Wingfield coming open. You've got Swilly on the out. You've got Forsey like on a check down that's already going down the field, right? That can get open here in this pocket and just catch it as a running back and go up and try to hit the safety and potentially break that tackle and go for the score, right? There's a lot happening as the play continues to develop. He goes and he gets a double move and gets out here. There's so much going on with this play, and I fracking love this play. So since we didn't make the half an hour mark, I hope to make the 45-minute mark. Slot corner is a quite good play as well. We basically have Fanucci and Wingfield here with a high-low read. And with that corner potentially blitzing, we might just quick throw to Fanucci to the flag. Again, the idea that if we're threatening with Fanucci on inside routes, whatever our slot receiver is, our Wes Welker kind of guy, or whoever our Puka Nakua or Cooper Cup, whatever you want to call it, guy, if our slot guy is threatening the inside slant action, then we're also complementing it with outside breaking routes, right? And we're trying to put pressure. If we're getting that blitz from that corner, then we're going to put pressure on that other corner out there that's on top of Wingfield. So we drop back. Is it a fake? He didn't hang on to it with 4 wide receiver catch. Like, we're putting him in a bind. And we can't throw this to Fanucci, but that way this kind of quick out of sorts, gets open. Just like we had throwing to Swilly earlier when we had this route and then breaking out. We now have the same thing, but the other part of the field. There's the conflict defender. You can't cover both. You're supposed to catch that thing, give us 7 yards, and keep moving the chains. Now they're 3 over 1 over here. There's a very good chance that we're going to throw to X, but let's read it out. Ooh, nice interception. I love it. I love the fact that they're willing to go get that. You can't just get away with everything. So they're kind of like doubling here. This is taken away. They're like 3 versus 2. That's why I thought we're probably going to go to X, because it's like, okay, those are taken away. We need to be willing to get the comeback curl. And he just takes it away. They just completely beat us all the way across the board, and we do not have a fast tight end. So sometimes just the play gets beat. And the other thing is, as a quarterback, when we open our hips to make this throw, like, we need to see that we didn't get the win, right? If anything, like, I'm really happy with the 20 out of 20, the 20 out of 20 interceptions. Not happy with the fact that he has a low awareness rating and is running the route. So I would rather adjust the ratings of the player. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. I would rather increase their awareness rating so that they're better players than physically have this happen very often. Because again, we're talking about something like an 80 whatever awareness versus 66, 70, and 51 awareness. I'd rather this awareness rating be increased for Ohio State rather than having this get beat, because that's part of the point of the man coverage. The way these old PlayStation 2 era games worked is awareness is basically the catch-all skill for everything. Being able to read the runs, being able to read the ball in the air, being able to play man coverage. Like, there is no route running skill, there is no man coverage skill. Everything is just awareness based, right? So I kind of like having it set like that. We might even try AI settings, defense, the 17. I tried the 16 and I felt like the increase was needed. Now we're trying the 8. We tried the 18 and I want to back it off. So 17, maybe 16 is the right way because there is such a huge gap in skill. Like the 80 awareness versus the 66 awareness or whatever, like the 14-point awareness difference. I know I'm like indecisive, but 17. 17 is what we'll mess with. Okay, so flip the play. You can see the idea, though, here of the slot corner is you have the high-low read with L and B. You have the curl situation here with Swilly. You've got the post. If you had a better tight end, a better receiving tight end than someone with 55 speed, that could be a threat as well. So there's a lot that I like about this play. Just, toss it out and pick up your free yard. Ooh, ball placement a little bit. But as they drop back, like they've got all three, this is definitely covered. This might be breaking open a little bit later because he's just sitting there and he's allowing you to throw to the 20-yard line here. I do like the fact that we're splitting the safeties, we're beyond the linebackers, and I'm trying to throw to this spot of the field. And this is really the problem of throwing a bullet. I need to throw more of a touch pass is probably part of the issue there. You just need to escape, and probably should have thrown to X. That's why it helps to practice your plays and make a good read. And playing live in a video, I didn't do a good job. Yeah, it's like this is just wide open. Missed that shot, turned it down. This is just bad film for Bo Gaither. And then the X is like wide open, which is part of the point that I was talking about. They're playing this zone. This is 17 awareness instead of 18 awareness, and it's zone. So he's like trying to protect against it. He's kind of bailing, even though he sees the curl right there. So, but that could be, again, the 66 awareness and winning the play. Yeah, I basically turned down wide open passes. It's a good play. Pretty much that high-low, the comeback, the post-attack. You kind of have something against every defensive look. So, it's a play I like. That's slot corner, that's halfback streak, seam post. Yeah, let's talk about seam post. So, in a very similar way we've talked about throwing to Fanucci and the double movements also with Wingfield, is we can just quickly drop back. Yeah, I really should have let that play develop. The idea is sometimes Fanucci here, whoever your slot player is, he doesn't get bumped like this, and he just gets wide open for like a nice little catch. Let's see if we can just force that a little bit. Just drop back. Yeah, he just kind of just rolls into like a little pocket here. You can say the defense needs to do a better job of its awareness, I guess. But he just kind of runs the route up and then rolls in and gets the little catch. And it's nice. This little double move isn't really allowed to do like the quick underneath throw that I've told you like we had with Fanucci earlier. The boom boom, like the quick throw. That's just not a situation here with Wingfield. But they're threatening this double post routes, which I feel is kind of threatening what we talked about slants here. I feel we're kind of threatening this, not at the same depth, but the idea that that's like a route combination that we can threaten. And then we actually bend it back out to, you know, the out to the flag. Ooh, ball placement outside and away. And this is just another case where Fanucci just rolls it and it's just easy to catch it right over the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, it's so often like that's just the quick throw. And it's really, a lot of times that I was practicing this, it was just these two. And seeing who can like burn the defense better. Right, do you get this shot? Do you have the double move throwing out? Like, I'm not even like reading other receivers or anything. There is this like late post action here from Swilly, and like it's a skinny post too. So there are times where you might get something, but what coverage are you trying to defeat with this? Because you're not trying to beat palms, they're going to drop back. You're not trying to beat cover one because you're running right towards it, like maybe, but I doubt you're trying to beat a cover one. Swilly here, it looks like you're really just trying to beat cover zero. You're just trying to drop back, especially because you have Forsey and Atkinson pass blocking, so you're just trying to have mass protection. A quick read to Fanucci and Wingfield against a cover zero, and if the protection holds up, you can fire it down the field to Swilly and like try to hope that your guy is better than their guy. But we're really just throwing to A and B and trying to trust in the fact that we have protection. A 7-man protection scheme, right? All 5 plus the tight end plus the running back. The thing that we shouldn't be afraid of having immediate pressure on us. And here they're actually only rushing 3, right? And then this cut block works out really well. And we're just like, everyone's getting taken care of. They end up adding a 4th pass rusher eventually, like 3 and 1. And we have the time to just try to get this out here. And I really like this 4 catch rating thing. It's kind of nice, where it's not just a gimme every time. Might go with 5, but I kind of like that. Dropping back, have confidence in your players. And the 4 catching is working, right? Like he's able to leap and make some nice catches. but they're also not catching everything, like guaranteed. I might even go to a lower catch rating, but I don't think so. But this is not a situation where we're going to throw to X necessarily. If this safety is trying to drive on the play, we could potentially have this break open later, right? Maybe we can pump fake to Finucci and then throw to X. I mean, that's not the coverage that we're looking for that kind of thing. I'm just trying to see what the angles are, see how they react to a pump fake. See, he's pump faking to X though as well. But do you see how a good drop back, have confidence in your pass pro, pump fake it, and then go downfield? Like, you have to find the coverage that you like that actually works like you want it to. I can also see the potential if there's like a corner of someone jumping this route, and you can throw underneath here to this route. If this guy is not trailing, but he's actually in front, you could have like a little pocket here to Wingfield. This is a really nice play. My goal was 45 minutes. We're at under 4 minutes to go till that cutoff point. So halfback streak, slot corner, all of that. Seam post, I really like it. Flanker middle. This is a post wheel combination is what it's called. So Wingfield here is running a route that is a post, and Finucci is running a wheel route. And then we've got Swilly with a deep dig. So we also have inside quick releases to Wingfield and Swilly. So we can just drop it in there in a little pocket and throw the 5-yarder. Like, we can 3-step this thing and just fire it. It does not have to be a deep route. Just if they're going to give us 5 yards, let's take 5 yards. And the same thing here with Wingfield, right? He's just going to take off, and we can throw into that pocket. So that's part of what makes these plays really beautiful, is you can just get the quick throw into these pockets. But the other thing about this play, and let's just let it run and not actually throw to anyone, drop back, and we don't find anyone open, and no one is open, and let's throw the ball. Right? We're just like making an artificial idea. This combination, this rub route combination, where they like scissor split each other, is really nice in putting pressure on coverage, especially like a single high coverage, cover 1, and also against the cover 2 defender, because if they have the safeties splitting out like he is, but also the other safety splitting out like that, then this route can split that coverage, and a single high safety, like, I know that this is the corner, but let's just imagine a different world where this is the safety floating here, and suddenly we have a post breaking here. We're putting pressure on the safety here, so he's got to have his attention here on this wide receiver, so he's like not involved in the play. And now we've got a receiver running deep down the field, and we also have a post breaking. The safety can't cover both, and we're going to need to fire. Now, obviously, he's holding his hand up. He's like, I'm wide open. He is wide open. The point wasn't to get the throw off, but the power of the quick throw, breaking down the field, and then throwing the post to get wide open, throwing down towards this S in Broncos to get wide open in the coverage, as well as the quick throw here. He breaks up, and then you also have a high-low. This dig route, that's what they call it. Like, this is a dig. And so you're high and low here. You see that? Like, especially at this crossing point, you've got a high-low combination here. You have a split route combination here where they've like scissors split early on. There's a lot happening here. And then with all of that, you basically have like a crossers where you're high-lowing kind of here and getting a receiver out here. There's so much happening with this play. It is a fantastic play. And we're at 44 and 30 seconds. So for the 45-minute mark, this is a place where we want to end it. I hope it's been informative and helpful, and we haven't even talked about play action cross, halfback screen, tight end post, play action post. Like, there's 2 more pages of plays to look at. I hope you've had a great time. I hope you look forward to the next time we do this, because I enjoy doing